And you've just heard Patsy Kensit, the new single from Lemon Drink. And I'm so pleased to be joined by the band now. That's Lauren, Kirsty, Sophie, and Paul. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Now, before we talk about the single and anything else, it's welcome back. I mean, it's been I don't want to overstate this, but it has been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a while. Yeah.
Well, we'll maybe get into the reasons for that later on, should you wish to discuss them. But let's talk about the single that we've just heard, Patsy Kensit, which is coming out this Friday. I don't know who wants to take this first, but why Patsy Kensit and what's the single about?
I can feel if
Yeah.
everyone's happy. So, why Patsy Kensit? So it's not really about Patsy Kensit, despite the fact that we do love Patsy Kensit. It's
We
nothing. It's not
do.
really about her at all. It's So it's funny. It's one of, if not one of the. I think it might have even been written before a song for you, but Kirsty can keep me right. But it's one of the first songs that me and Kirsty, Casey, I'll use interchangeably just for full disclosure, that we ever wrote. And this was long before lovely Lauren and Paul joined us. And yeah, we started writing this song in 2017, 18, maybe a long time ago. And it came about, we wrote the bridge essentially because we used to basically go on my mum's ex-boyfriend's Twitter and just like laugh at his absolutely horrific, like the embarrassing tweets. And one of the things that he used to do was tweet or retweet selfies that Patsy Kensit had posted without any context. He just
Right?
retweet them, and also a bunch of other very embarrassing stuff on Twitter that was just very cringe. So we just used to like laugh at him for that, and then so we wrote the bridge one night, and then for years we couldn't piece it together, and it took a long time for it to come together. And then once we finally kind of got to the wider theme, so the wider theme is just more around, we say people, but probably more men that are very entitled. They like to really fill the room with their own ego, and just how frustrating it is to be in their presence. And specifically, this song, how frustrating it is when you see a friend or someone you know, in my case, my mum, dating a man like that.
Yeah.
And then they have to then somehow you then have to be exposed to them as well because it's their choice. So that's the wider theme of the song. So the song's nothing to do with Patsy Kensit other than it just was a real hook for the catalyst for the whole song. And it felt only right to name it after her because she is iconic. So yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But I felt when I was listening to the lyrics that there might be quite a lot of eye rolling going on, going, "Oh God," nods of the head all round.
Yes. I
Yeah,
think one
sorry.
of the favorite things, I think there was three standout tweets. One was the Patsy Kensit, I'm so tired, which is why, so she just posted a selfie saying I'm so tired or something. So that was where that lyric came from. The lyric, say your neighbor is a star, make sure everybody knows it, is because he lived next to Judy Murray, and he said, I hope my neighbor's son wins Wimbledon today. And then the last one that was also really good was the legendary chef Tom Kitchen.
Hmm.
He posted a photo of him with Tom Kitchen, and the caption said, "Me and my good friend Tim Kitchen." So
So good, but it's kind of, oh dear.
Mm.
Um, Now it's interesting you say that this song's been about for a while because when I first heard it, I went, "This is Lemon Drink." Absolutely sounds like you guys. And I wondered if, before knowing that it was an older song, that if you feel you've almost, do you feel you've got to write to a kind of Lemon Drink sound, or is that just your sound?
I think probably it's like a kind of polished version of where we started, which is really nice to kind of, especially with the addition of Paul, who has been a pretty seamless addition and like has really helped us kind of elevate what we already had going on, and kind of bring it to how we would all kind of like it to be. I think like that's why we're possibly gonna, work on some of the older songs again is with
Okay.
with Paul's input. Um Yeah, so I think going forward, writing newer things, it's just a kind of yeah, how we would want to sound
Yeah,
now.
it's like a more grown up. It's like all the I think the thing is we've never from the start gone, we want to sound like this, or we all have bands that we love, but they're also all very different. And maybe we'll come on and talk about that. But we have a huge sliding scale of like musical influences. So I think that's only a good thing because they all kind of come together in this somehow Venn diagram of what we end up kind of sounding like. But we never write a song going, this is how it has to sound. I think there's certain things that we know are pretty, as you say, lemon drink. Like I think the sort of the playfulness, the kind of they're a bit raw. They're not it's not got like this really shiny, polished. But what we like about Patsy is it's got, as Lauren said, more of an elevated kind of feel to where we've come from. And yeah, as Lauren said, I think a huge part of that is Paul's guitar is just much better than anything that I could ever do as a rhythm guitarist. Yeah. And he's brought a huge amount of distinctive kind of guitar tones and sounds that have really, as Lauren said, seamlessly blended with everything we had already. And I think that playing against kind of, I think it only amplifies what Casey does with her kind of more hooky riffs, and those are a bit edgy and then Paul's got this nice kind of smooth or quite epic sounding guitars underneath. And I think they blend together so well.
Yeah, because it's not just the sound, I think, that makes it, again, lemon drink using, but also the lyrics as well. There's always lines which kind of jump out at you, which always make me smile. Paul, what's it like then joining a kind of established band? Is that challenging? You can be as honest or not as you like.
Yeah. No, for me, I thought it was pretty quick, just kind of getting in and eager to get going. I've always kind of been in groups and played guitar in groups, somewhat similar to what Lemon Drink are doing. But yeah, I just I felt like as soon as we kind of got started, we all kind of clicked, and I knew straight away from like hearing the tracks that were already recorded, like what I could bring to it, and just trying to fill out the sound a bit, and yeah, and add a bit more weight maybe to the sound. But yeah, and I felt it went pretty smooth from the off. So there wasn't too much pressure.
We did speed dating to find the guitarist, and Paul was an immediate hit just from like hanging out. We were like, this guy's class, like we can be friends with this guy. And then we were like, we really hope he's good at guitar because we've not heard him play yet. And then he came in and we were like, oh my God, he's really good. Hooray.
But that is really interesting. That idea that do you go for the person that fits you all first, or you could get an amazing guitarist who just no, and that's probably never going to last. Yeah. So, and Kirsty, Sophie mentioned that you're going back maybe and looking over old songs. What's that been like to do, to revisit these songs?
Yeah, it's been pretty fun. I think because me and Sophie had like loads of little bits of songs that we'd started, and now we're going back and elevating, like as I feel like we've been like gushing over Paul, like but to say it again, just like a different perspective. So yeah, no, it's been fun. It's been great.
Something that just came to me there because this was a conversation I had with someone else. So when you think you're going to call the song Patsy Kensit, is part of you thinking Patsy Kensit might listen to this or something? I mean, it doesn't matter, I guess. But do you ever think?
It has crossed our minds a few times. We're actually as well. It has been in consideration because we're shooting the music video next weekend, and at one point we had thought like we could get photos of her face, and then obviously our manager very astutely said, I don't know if we can do that because I don't think you can actually use Patsy Kensit's likeness. But I mean, we love Patsy. I think Kirsty especially, big advocate. So much about her.
Yeah, didn't realize I knew so much, but turns out I've read her Wikipedia page, so it's all in there.
Yeah, I mean, when she was in Eighth Wonder, she was having songs written by the Pet Shop Boys and stuff. I mean, she's had quite the career.
Yep.
No, the reason this came up because we were talking about Goodnight Louisa's album,
yes,
and there's tracks on that. Grace Jones, Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston, it's a very good track.
I wonder what the thinking behind that. Jennifer Aniston's one of my favourite tracks of last year. But I think it is interesting when you go out there and you say a known figure is going to be the name of our single. That could be interesting kind of thing.
We haven't added at her yet. Maybe we should do that. Maybe we should also just start. To be fair, we actually don't really use X/Twitter, which is a shame because it would have been the perfect platform to really promo this track, considering the origin stories. But politically, it's obviously a bit dubious. But yeah, I was going to say we could have just started randomly retweeting her as well, or re-Xing her. I don't even know what you call it anymore.
No, I don't know.
I mentioned at the start, kind of welcome back. So you have been away for quite a few years. I don't know if you want to say why that is, or were you ever wrong about that? Maybe you were always making music and doing stuff together.
No, it was not by choice, and none of it is bad. It was various different things. COVID obviously didn't help because we released our EP the 2 days or 3 days before lockdown got announced, so that wasn't great. And then we obviously released Demon Child in 2021. So again, nothing was quite back up and running, but that helps kind of get us going forward again, which was nice. And then we kind of started working on new stuff, started doing kind of demos, and kind of by taking a step back, realized that we probably wanted to bring in a new guitarist.
Right.
I think I just decided that I just wasn't. I'm competent at guitar, but like I'm a singer and I'm a performer, and I think I just really wanted to focus more on that. And the guitar was kind of stressing me out a bit when it was kind of felt like it was always pulling me back a little bit from live. So if we could bring in another guitarist, that would really help mean that we could. So going from a 4-piece to a 5-piece, which of course takes quite a lot of time to, as we say, find the person that fits as a person, but also fits as a sound. We very luckily found Paul. We had then obviously had to get Paul up and running. And then we were also very keen from obviously hearing Paul's style. Some of the bits were getting rewritten. So it wasn't just a case of Paul learn all these bits. It was a case of working with as a new 5 collective to really kind of hone the set and hone the songs and hone the sound. So there was lots of rewriting going on, as well as still doing kind of demos for new songs. And then you may notice, if you followed us for a while, we don't have Harry here, our beloved Harold, because he made the very selfish decision to become a really good dad. He just wanted to really be hands-on in his kid's life. So he decided that it was time to take a wee step away from the band, which was obviously much to all of our sadness, and we do miss him. But yeah, so then we didn't have a drummer, just at the point that we were ready to actually start going out again. We then got a drummer who was lovely. He was from a band called the Exhales, who we played with for a gig, and he was lovely. Again, just as we played an amazing first show with him. Everyone, rave reviews, everyone said, he's great, such a good fit. And then he selfishly decided to move to New Zealand, which meant we then had no drummer again.
That personally, that's quite the move.
Yeah. It didn't help that, unfortunately, his poor girlfriend had to move over, and I think he's going to have a blast out there, though.
Yeah.
It's like logistics for practice a little difficult, but
logistically.
Drummers later, here we are.
I know, God, honestly. And then we had another drummer that was a friend of mine, and then unfortunately, due to work commitments, he then had to. But we are very pleased to say he couldn't come today, but we do have another drummer who's a very, very good fit. He's called Michael. You'll see him plug at our headline show at McCool's. If you want to come to that, you can meet Michael. You can see Michael. Again, he's bringing something in the same way that Paul did. I think he's got his own flair. He was previously played with Mark Sharp and the Bicycle Thieves, so he's kind of in that sort of indie rock space. He's bringing a really nice flair to the songs again, just tweaking wee bits and putting his own style. So we're super excited to just start playing live again because we have a full lineup again.
Well, I mean, I always enjoyed seeing you play live, and you've mentioned that there are gigs coming up, so perhaps plug a bit more. That's what we're here for.
Sure. Yeah. Well, we have our headline show at Mookoos, which we are very excited for. We're gonna have some new songs to debut. They are not actually officially written yet. The starts of them are written, and we might bring back some old ones as well, which will be very exciting. And supports are also still to be announced, but we've got a couple up our sleeve that we're super excited about. So yes.
It's on the 20th of March. Friday, the 20th of March. Friday, great night for a gig because really extends the weekend, I've found. On a Friday night, hungover on Saturday, Sunday's a free day.
Yep. Your weekend's so long.
And I have to say, McCool's are a great venue, that little band.
Oh, yeah.
So good.
Yeah. And so, getting ready to play this again, did you feel you had to kind of learn how to play live again, especially with some new members?
I had to remember the songs, first of all. Remember how to play, full stop. Yeah.
Yeah, we did a couple last year. And I think maybe like, the first was kind of like a bedding in kind of gig, to be honest. But then I think we found our feet quite quickly by the time we done our second gig. And I think we're all kind of ready to go.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, because I was with Robert, and then as the new 5-piece, we've not played together yet, but it's sounding good. It is, so we think it's going to be a really good show, and we hope that anyone who's seen us before will see us this time and go, okay, yeah, that's like Lemon Drink 2.0. Like the sound is bigger, it's better, more flair, more style, more energy. I don't know, we're really excited to show it to people.
And do you have, maybe you can't speak about any future plans in terms of releases? Anything in the pipeline, or is that still to be announced?
There's background plans afoot. I think that's probably all we'll say for now. But yes, there's things. It's not going to be a Demon Child situation where we do one single and then we disappear again for like 5 years. We've got a plan for kind of keeping that kind of steady stream of releases coming, which is exciting.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, what were you saying, Lauren?
Just that we've ended up with plenty of stuff stacked up, I guess, over the period of time, because we didn't really stop writing. Not quite as, frequent as before, but yeah, we've got some real gems that we're working on, which is really nice. It's really exciting.
Yeah, and one of our new ones, we've only actually been able to play for people once, and that was our show at Stereo, supporting Maz and the Phantasms. And that was consistently, people were like, that's my favorite, like that was my favorite in the set, and that was people who've seen us before or people who've seen us for the first time. So that was super exciting because that one is a bit different. It's a bit more introspective. It's still got that playfulness, but it's not quite as, I mean, all of that still exists in lots of other songs. We've got a song called Sip Sip, which we really love. That's kind of got that really sassy energy. We've still got the sort of angst and the kind of cheekiness in like songs like Fatal Attraction. But this new song, Blossoming, we're excited to play again and then play again and again and again, because it seems to be, people seem to really enjoy it, which is nice, because it is a bit different for us.
I feel like it's a good leading off point from Patsy Ken's as well, and like maybe where we're headed at the moment. So yeah, be interesting to see where it leads us.
So in terms, Patsy Ken's, it's a good introduction to people who don't know, because it hints at what's to come, but also you've got your previous music there to check out too.
Yep.
And, it's not been decades or anything, but it's moved pretty quickly. I wondered if you thought you're kind of coming back into a different musical landscape at all. Obviously, there's going to be new bands around, but in terms of other things as well. Because, venues have had a hard time, for instance.
Yeah.
I think the way that music's released has changed, for instance, over the period. Have you found that challenging?
I think it's definitely as well feels challenging in the sense that you want to support everybody that you can. And also just you said, like, what is the best way to go about. We have a manager now, which is extremely helpful. Because I think it is challenging if you are just 4 or 5 people of our age, you know. It's a bit of a minefield out there, what from a business perspective even, you know, like we generally are geared up for playing music, writing songs from a creative aspect. So to try and kind of turn your brain to logistics of when is it good to release this now with the advent of social media and
still got PTSD
like that,
from the other day.
Yeah, it's never just, oh, well, we've written this song and we've recorded it. Let's show people. It's like, well, when would be the most effective time? You know, that kind of thing seems to be even more prevalent now than it ever was.
Yeah.
So it's good to have a hand to navigate that now. Things that we never, or I would never have thought of before. Yeah, you really have to consider now.
Yeah, you have to wear a lot of different hats. And it's really challenging to kind of try and balance that. You know, you're not just a musician, you're also a social media manager and a PR person and a music business person to know how to, you know, if you're self-releasing, like you need to make sure that you're getting your royalties. And it's just, there's so much. And I think, yeah, having our manager, we call her the gaffer because she's also called Lauren, which is very confusing. She has been great at just really helping kind of guide us. And as she said, she's there so that we can just focus more on the creative side. But I think the other thing that the thing that I think that the most different now, and it was definitely still a thing when we did Demon Child, but more so now, is just that social media presence. And I think we need to find what our unique voice is, because we know it's so important. But, you know, like we tried to do a piece of content the other day and it was absolutely horrific. We might put a little supercut of the worst bits of it on social media, so you might be up by the time this interview comes out, I don't know. But we literally watched the life and soul of Paul drain out of his face in live time as we tried to do this little video.
Every stage of grief.
But it's just not us, it's not authentic. And that's the thing.
I nearly moved to New Zealand.
That's what happened. But I think you're so right. And if you can have someone else that can deal with that, so many people are having to kind of go into areas and, you know, do things they're not comfortable with and use language, you know, strategy and all this stuff that they're just not comfortable with. And so if you can kind of get that taken away from you, all the best.
It's good also having a bad cop, because sometimes it's like, because we're all, I think that's the other thing. I think we're all softies, so sometimes it's a tough industry, and I think sometimes you can, you know, with trying to be nice and polite to everyone, sometimes it's like you do just need someone to be like, right. So it's good.
Send in the gaffer.
Send in the gaffer, exactly.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thanks very much for taking the time to talk to me. I'm genuinely delighted that you're back and making music, and all the best with the single and the future.
Thank you. And it was so good to see you again. And yeah, thanks for having us.
Lovely to talk to you. Thank you.
My pleasure. And this is Lemon Drink and A Song for You.